Hey guys, be sure to like and subscribe. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about a tsunami of expats, Filipinos, tourists, and everything else that might be coming this way. And I want to talk about this a little bit today because there's a whole wave of people all around the world that are getting passports right now. And passport offices are getting slammed by people, especially in the United States. They're backlogged right now really far, and there's millions of people all around the world applying for passports. Embassies are getting slammed because some people that were stuck in countries now are trying to figure out how to get different visas or possibly getting a dual citizenship so they can travel a little bit easier. A lot of Filipinos are doing that. They're trying to get dual citizenship so they can go to the Philippines whenever they want, because this last phase, if they were a citizen, let's say, of Canada or of the U.S., some of them were locked in the U.S. because they weren't allowing these people back in because they weren't really citizens. So now they're trying to get their dual citizenship. So even the Philippine embassy is getting slammed, and they're looking for extra help or whatever to help with the overload. But here's the other thing. Even I myself, with emails asking me about visas, anything having to do with travel or anything like that, I've been getting slammed daily here. And some days it's been like 6-8 hours of just answering questions through emails and comments and things like that, asking, hey Steve, this is what my situation is. What can I do? And usually I tell them, what my thoughts are on their situation. And a lot of the questions are coming in from expats about their wives and stuff like that. What do I do about my wife? What do I do about, I have a girlfriend in the United States. She's Filipino. She's right now she can't get in. She's not a Filipino citizen. What do I do? I get all kinds of questions like that. And a lot of those questions, some of them I know the answers, some of them I don't. But I mean, these are really questions, guys, for the embassies themselves to answer, because you're going to get the best answer from them, not from me. I'll tell you what I know, but I'm not giving you all the information because I don't know all the information on some of that. I'll tell you exactly what I know. And when things do open up, and I'm not sure if they are soon or later, it seems like with this new variant going around that we have some issues going on with that might slow us down a little bit. But people are getting cabin fever from getting stuck in the house or stuck in place or whatever, and they're getting a little bit weary of that. And here's the thing. Everybody wants to be ready to travel when that opens up, and that's part of it. So, and the other part is that there's a lot of expats in the U.S. that have been sitting there for a year and a half waiting to come to the Philippines. Some of them have changed their mind. Some of them have gone to other places. Some of them have gone to other places temporarily. But overall, most people are still planning on coming to the Philippines, And some guys are worried about, that tourist visa might change or that might change or whatever might change. For the most part, the retirement visa program has stayed the same, with the exception that it's over 50 only right now. Okay? That's the only change in that program. Now for tourists haven't opened up yet. And you know what? As of today, and it's the a little bit past the middle of July 2021, and we're still sitting here waiting for the tourist visas to open up, even for vaccinated people. And if you do come into this country under any other type of visa, you still have to go on a quarantine. And the question now is, if they do open up the tourist visas, what happens? Do they go into quarantine for 7 days? Nobody's going to want to go on a 2-week vacation if they have to sit in a hotel for a week waiting to have their other week of fun. I know I wouldn't want to go on vacation like that. So something's got to give sooner or later. And a lot of these other countries are starting to open up and letting people in. Some countries are still, they're still kind of stuck in their old ways. And the Philippines is kind of, looking at what to do. And they usually wait to follow other countries, and then they come up with their own ideas. But here's the thing. When this does open up, I mean, we're going to have a surge of people coming to this country, of tourists, expats, everything. I mean, you want to invest some money, invest into the tourism, the tourism sector. That might be the place to put your money right now. And when it does break open, that's where all the money is going to be flowing. That'd be my biggest bet, to invest in something like that. But as of right now, those places are hurting, and if you invest right now and we go into like a variant thing where it shuts down for another year or something like that, then you might lose your money too. So that's the problem with that. But if you see things opening up And then it might be time to start investing in something like that. For you guys that are still young and want to invest, or you guys have extra cash sitting aside, might be a place to throw a couple dollars. You know what I mean? I'm not telling people in their 70s to throw money in there, because it's probably going to take a few years for you to get some of your money back. But I do think we're going to have a big surge of people coming here to the Philippines and Southeast Asia. And when you start seeing what I'm seeing on my end, and you start seeing the amount of emails that I get every day about visas, about, hey Steve, do you think it's going to be opening up? The number one question I get is, hey Steve, when are we going to open? I can't answer that. I have no idea. Nobody really has any idea. People ask me for my best guess, and they really try to press me on it. And my guess is as good as anybody else's. Really, it really is. My guess is no better than anybody else's. I do have people, from up top that are getting information and they're passing it along to me and stuff like that. But even they're having a hard time understanding the information that they're getting from people, because the people up top are all worried about, hey, if we open up, then all of a sudden we let some people in here with some, some of the virus or something like that. Then everybody's, going to get reinfected, and then we have to shut back down again. So these are the problems. These are the problems right now. There's a lot of big problems going on in these countries that are trying to open up because of this. They're afraid. Everybody's afraid, and you can't blame them about being afraid, because they don't have enough knowledge about this stuff. The politicians in all these Asian countries and all the other countries are just as afraid. They're worried that if something happens, okay, I'm going to look bad. I'll never get reelected. That's what they're really worried about. They're worried about getting reelected. But like even in the United States, everybody's worried about it. They're worried. It's crazy times. But all the embassies are getting flooded for different visas, including Ireland. Ireland was one of the things that was in one of the news articles. They're getting slammed with people wanting to get passports and go travel and stuff like that. United States, I believe Canada, and there was several other countries over in Europe that are getting slammed. But it's all throughout the world that they're getting slammed. And a lot of the embassies in a lot of countries that get traveled quite a lot are getting slammed with visa requests, like I said, and then the visa requests. In the Philippines, they're getting ballot buy-ins, dual citizenship, all that stuff. So this is a huge surge. I think we're going to see a big switch also because of these dual citizenships, of people moving from one country to the next. There's a lot of people, for some reason, they're moving out of the U.S. And I think that's what that big surge is. I think a lot of those people are going to be people moving out of the country. I think a lot of those people are going to be expats that are up and out of there. They just want to get out of the United States or whatever. You're going to see some changes. I think we're going to see some demographic changes throughout the world right now. Things are changing, and fast. Those aren't just my thoughts. That's what the passport office is seeing in the U.S. and in many other countries. These people aren't just going to all be tourists. I can assure you that. Granted, most of them will be, but a lot of those people are going to be expats. And a lot of those people are going to be coming to Asia, Thailand, Philippines, maybe Japan, Taiwan. Taiwan's actually like a kind of a up-and-coming country, believe it or not, despite the China issues, for expats. It's actually a really good place to go, too. Malaysia, there's a lot of other places, Bali, all types of places. You can, with all these places that are opening up, it might be a good temporary spot for you, some of you expats that are looking to get out of the United States. Come to Asia. There's places we can go already. You can go to Guam for a while. Sit it out in Guam. If you got enough cash, you can sit it out in Guam. You might actually like Guam. And when the Philippines opens up, come from Guam to the Philippines, and you're all set to roll. Just get a furnished place, or get an Airbnb in Guam. There's Airbnbs in Guam. You just get yourself a room. You're all set. Get it right near the beach or something. Can't beat that. But anyway, guys, I just want to put that out there. A lot of you guys are getting worried about all the stuff that's going on. And this here is definitely pointing to a big opening when they open. And if this variant slows things down, I think the opening is going to get even bigger. Because then you're going to have people sitting around even longer waiting to retire, waiting to get out of the country or whatever. And there's a lot of people I notice that are getting really disgruntled with the U.S. or whatever country they're in because of the way this has been handled. So it's going to be funny to see how this plays out. I think it's going to play out pretty big. I think we're going to be see a surge in the airlines, tourists, expats. I think you're going to see more surges for people getting passports in the future and visas, things like that. Because a lot of these visa programs right now are shut down. When they reopen these, they have a year and a half worth of people waiting on these programs. So a lot of these programs aren't even open now. So that's going to be the surge. We're going to see a surge all around and all this stuff. So I can't even imagine what it's going to be like at the airport here when things open up. It's going to be crazy, especially Filipinos, because Filipinos love to come home. They love to come home and see their families back in the Philippines. It's going to be huge, guys. It's going to be big, especially with the Philippine embassy saying that they're hard pressed with people, and there's shortages of people working the phones and working the desks and stuff like that, and they need more people to fill those spots. That says a lot right there. That says a lot, especially with the U.S. passport office getting slammed with passports. We're going to get hit big, guys. God bless. Take care, guys.